Hello and welcome to the Back Post podcast. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. A lot to get into, once again, as always. Title race, get in. That will be mentioned a couple of times, I imagine. The title race, big games yesterday, big game on Saturday as well for Spurs. Bit of relegation chat there if we have to, you know what I mean?
Oh, we will. Don't you worry about it.
Before we get into that, though, we are trying to hit 13,000 subscribers on YouTube. So please go down there and subscribe. It'd be greatly appreciated. In the watch along yesterday, did amazing stuff, didn't we? And plenty more of those to come. But shall we get straight into the...
I suppose so.
Liverpool-Manchester City game that we all watched together yesterday.
We did.
It was a fun little watch. Very fun watch. City turning the game around, making your little... feet squirm in your chair, weren't they? You were a very unhappy man at the end.
It's annoying, yeah, for sure. It's frustrating, but I think some of the reaction to it after the game has been over the top. Some of the stuff I'm hearing, I know, Gary Neville got a huge amount of criticism for his commentary, which I've not heard a huge amount of it back, but I've seen some of the quotes and stuff, and Sky need a title race, right? They didn't get one last season. Business-wise, it's terrible if they don't get one.
Yeah. Fans want it as well. Like football fans.
I would happily pass on a title race and wrap it up.
Specifically don't, but as a football fan, like you said, because last year we walk, you want drama, you want controversy.
Yeah,
with it. And it's the win that they got in terms of going away to Liverpool. Obviously, I think it's the first time since 1937 City have done the double over Liverpool. And
is it really?
Yeah, do you know what happened that year?
What?
City won the league. And then they were relegated the following year despite being the top scorers of the league.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a huge win because it was Liverpool.
Oh, it was.
Like, obviously, Arsenal played Liverpool twice this season, didn't win either of those games. For City to do that, it feels like ground gained, even though it's not in terms of points. Like, at the end of the day, for Arsenal, they went into the weekend 6 points clear. They end the weekend 6 points clear with one game less.
Yep.
But it's still a good weekend.
And that's kind of where I'm at. Like, with the commentary of City showed their mentality and now they'll be sniffing blood and this, that, and the other. I'm like, I still think the pressure's more on them than us. Bernardo Silva said after the game they knew if they lost that game, the title race was done. Well, so that means going into Fulham, they know if they lose, the title race is done. Every game until we drop points, their mentality is going to be if we drop points, the title race is done. So the pressure is more on them than on us. And if Arsenal's performance at the weekend had been bad, but we'd come out with a win, but it had been scrappy and nervy, I'd have been like, worrying. But I think because our performance was good, it's like, we just need to keep going down.
The Sunderland are so poor away from home. And they're missing key players at the moment.
I think that's an easy thing to say.
You did your job, yeah.
I think it doesn't take anything away from Arsenal in terms of what their goals are for the season or what they're doing, but it gives City something, not because they think, it means we can catch Arsenal, but it means they think, we should back ourselves more. Spurs was a concerning one. This is one to kind of galvanise you and go, we went away to Anfield and won, like, we can turn up at any stadium and we can put a run together.
Yeah, it's also just the context of the game. They were 1-0 down, dejected out of it. If they lost that game, title race is basically completely over. The difference between 9 points and 6 points is huge, because if Arsenal lose to Brentford midweek, which could happen, Brentford are in great form, and City beat Fulham, it's now 3 points instead of the 6. It's like, that's just basic maths really. But I think the context of the game, they were 1-0 down. Pep Guardiola is probably on the touchline thinking, this is over. This is it. We don't turn this game around at Anfield. He's never turned it around at Anfield and won. So the fact that they did that, I think it's like so unexpected probably. And the situation was crazy. Obviously, the way that the game ended, Haaland scoring the penalty, shirt off in front of the away fans. The away fans haven't experienced a win at Anfield for God knows how many years. So I just think the whole concoction of it all felt a lot bigger than just the 3 points in terms of like the mentality, the mental boost that will give City. I still don't think City, in terms of just purely on the footballing front, are anywhere near as good as you at the moment. Like the control they don't have in games that they used to have. It used to be the whole thing with City. You just would never, there'd be never any jeopardy.
I think it bodes maybe arguably better just conference-wise for like Champions League for them than it even does for the league. It's just more of a case of, okay, we can still go away to these tough grounds. Yeah. Go and make moments.
They've won at the Bernabeu and Anfield this
I also do think there has to be a recognition that Liverpool are shit.
That's the thing.
Yeah, but,
that is the thing.
Liverpool have had crap years where City haven't gone and won. So that's why they look at it. It's never an easy game.
No, I agree. I just think that in terms of actually talking about the game yesterday, the first half was fairly uneventful. I mean, we were talking about jam on the watch long, whether the moon has any seasons.
You actually watched the match today back as well. City were very much on top first half.
Yeah, they had a few
Liverpool
chances.
on top second, but
I mean, I saw the stats back from the game, and I know that it was kind of inflated, the XG, due to the penalty and stuff like that. And Bernardo Silva's chance was really high XG too. But City did have considerably more XG. But in the second half, when we were watching it felt like Liverpool were the only team that were ever going to win that game.
The Ekitike header is...
The Ekitike header, I mean, that Salah ball, the other chance they had, I mean, the Salah one where Gahey tugged him back. So we'll chat about red cards. We will get into the VAR controversy from the game. But as soon as Szoboszlai scored that free kick, I was just like, there's no way they lose this. But then, oh my God, the defending.
Yeah, the defending was poor. But that's the thing. For me, Arsenal's performance this weekend was really good. And that followed a really good performance against Leeds away the weekend before.
Yeah.
City's performance, I think they were probably better than Liverpool on the balance of the game. But there was a lot of that performance that I still thought, that's kind of City this season.
Yeah.
First half, they were stronger. Second half, they dropped off. They look vulnerable in transition. Haaland still isn't scoring. I know he got the penalty, but he missed a big one-on-one. Rodri still... And so I'm like, performances, I've not seen anything this weekend that makes me think, pressure's on, we're in danger.
The result was much better than the performance.
It's just, okay, well, the title race is still on. That's all it is. The title race is still on, where if they'd lost the game, I think it would have been pretty much done. And one thing that was quite interesting was Arsenal have been accused a lot in the past of being over-emotional, getting really emotional in games. No, but we have.
No, carry on, yeah.
Rodri, at the end of that game, I've never really seen him look that emotional, apart from
he's never won Anfield,
when they won at Villa and they won the Champions League. But in terms of what that game meant to them, I'm just like,
winning at Anfield's a big. I don't know. It's a big deal. Like, I think most teams.
Have you lot won at Anfield?
No, they haven't.
No,
they didn't even beat them at home.
Like, winning at Anfield is a rare thing. I mean, Liverpool had just been losing and drawing games at Anfield week in, week out. But
I think there's certain games where it's like, I know Liverpool have been poor and Liverpool fans will be obviously disappointed, and it is also a tough place.
Forest won 3-0 at Anfield. I didn't see
it. But it's different. It's not a big game.
Big teams winning away at Anfield will always be. It doesn't matter when they were under Hodgson or whatever. Like, it always feel big.
Yeah, 100%. And I think City were within their rights to have that kind. It's been like a difficult. I mean, there's obviously been all the chat about Pep leaving at the end of the season over the past couple of weeks. That might have been his last ever trip to Anfield. Yeah. They've won that. You can understand the emotional.
No, I agree.
And I've always
and last minute.
I've always been of the opinion. Obviously, I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm always going to take the piss out of Arsenal. But I've always been of the opinion, like when Carragher had a go at that guy taking the photographs and stuff like that. I've always. I mean, we did a parade of our pitch when we beat Sheffield United 2-1 at home under Ange. So you know what I mean. It's like teams have moments like that where it feels big in the stadium and it feels like a big moment, and you should celebrate that.
Well, was at the West Brom.
I'm just trying to apply
it indoors, wasn't it?
I mean, Chelsea have had it before. I'm sure when you've had your I remember when you lost that game. There's that famous video of Mourinho going over to the away fan.
We lost the league. Yeah,
exactly. And it's like, all of these, you need moments like that.
I agree completely.
Connecting the team and the fans, isn't it?
And I think I think the thing is, when you read too much into like what Sky Sports are peddling, the narrative that like their pure focus is what can we sell?
Yeah.
What can we sell
job
to make people watch the TV, to make people watch the games? Unfortunately, having a go at Arsenal, because of how Arsenal fans react to it a lot of the time as well, just gets them views, gets them money. You know, pushing the City agenda a little bit right now because they want a title race, like you say. I know that you've not really been, complaining that much about it. I know that you kind of think it's water off a duck's back, especially if you win the title and you're still 6 points clear. But all of that stuff is just always going to happen. Like, it always will happen. It's like if we've been at the top of the league multiple times, like in terms of under Mourinho, we were top of the league for a bit. Under Poch, we were obviously top of the league for periods of time in different seasons, and every time we were top, the narrative was, well, when do they fall off? When do they bottle it? When do they next lose their game? It's like there's certain narratives with certain teams, and we did every time. You know what I mean? So it's like every team, I think, has the narratives. And I think the Arsenal bottle job narrative / do they slip up / are they that comfortable at the top is just your narrative.
There they win it, like that's
and then
just,
you'll
that's
win
natural.
it, and then next season it'll be the narrative going into the season will be who beats Arsenal.
Hopefully, that'd be nice.
So if you do actually win it, but I think we should talk about the VAR controversy from the game, because obviously that's what flipped the game on its head really after the Bernardo Silva equaliser. Alisson penalty. Do we think it's a pen?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate.
See, I don't think it's unfortunate at all.
Well, no, it's idiotic from Alisson.
Kirk seemed to accept
agreement with
VAR, didn't he?
Do you know what I don't like about stuff like that? You've got a player who's doing an interview heat at the moment right
Yeah.
after the game.
Yeah.
His second language,
Yeah.
and people have clipped up that one little bit that he says. Obviously, he's not just throwing Alisson.
No,
under
he's
the bus.
literally he's basically just saying like, "Oh, it's just a bit of a
I
mistake."
saw some Liverpool fans on Twitter going, "Who does he think he is? He's been shit." I'm like, lads, obviously he doesn't mean it in terms of like it's an Alisson mistake.
Yeah.
Like that, surely everybody should recognise that.
Yeah,
but it's a pen.
Yeah, and look, Liverpool only have themselves to blame. Not only Alisson, completely no reason for him to come out and charge it down and give it away, but also even in the build-up to it, Nunez makes a run. 3 of them are sucked over towards Bernardo Silva.
Yeah.
The space that is there for that run into the channel, because Van Dijk's just stood in the way more centrally than he should be.
Yeah.
The gap between him and them is massive. It was just really poor defending, terrible decision by Alisson. So you can't, like I said, it was really annoying because you do feel like Nunez only gets to the ball by poking it out for a goal kick.
Out of play by the time he takes him out.
Yeah,
but
so that
you've given him
as a keeper, if you come out in that situation, he's far outside of his own 6-yard box. If you come out, the rule has always been you've got to get the ball. If you don't get the ball, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
It's like so many times we see strikers, and keepers have got to be smarter than that. And you see a lot of keepers who I actually think are smarter than that now in terms of they're not just charging out to the feet of a striker, go through on goal. So often strikers will just take a fat touch away from the goal because they know the contact is coming. So it's like,
and to be fair, I do genuinely think, and I'm not just saying this because I wanted Liverpool to win yesterday. I do think the law slightly needs to be looked at in the way it's applied to goalkeepers relative to outfield players. Because if say it's an attacking player and they're about to take a shot and a defender tries to come and block the shot and the shot gets off and they take out the player afterwards, that's not normally given as a penalty. So I don't know why with a keeper you do. Yeah, but normally if they get the shot off and it goes wide and you know it's gone wide, and just after it they make contact, you don't normally see those given as a penalty.
So those are less likely to be given than keepers do.
Whereas when a keeper does it, it is always.
I think it kind of it's also contextual. Like I'd say, when Isak got injured with Van der Ven, if that hadn't gone in, I do think they'd give that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I think it's just certain.
Well, there was
ways
one on the weekend on Gyökeres. When Gyökeres scored the third goal, I mean that was like
it's the horror attack,
unbelievable, and they don't even look at it.
I think if he misses it, they would have given that.
Maybe.
I do. I think in certain circumstances, I think it all kind of depends on what it. Whereas if it's like, I don't know. In my head, I've got Sol Campbell's never any slide tackle. But I mean, if it's like something where you're trying to block something on the line, and then someone takes a shot, maybe like a yard away, and then momentum carries them into the person, they'll let them off. But if it's like
depends what the contact is like. If it's like you catch the leg that's just shot, but it's like if they take out both legs from them, and it's like they completely take out the man, then I understand more why that could be a penalty. But so we're all agreed on penalty.
That
one.
And then obviously I just don't get the outrage.
I do.
The Cherky goal.
I do, man. Like it's none of those teams there won from that decision. Like neither.
That's not what the referees.
That's not the point of the ref.
No, but no one. Why do you want to take
Both
away?
Both teams never.
Sorry,
that decision.
That was a unique moment you haven't seen in football.
Which is why they.
And there's a reason for that.
No, it's not a reason. No, it's in like Cherky's pass, that just going in and 2 players racing for it. It was just fun, and to then just be like after review, like fuck off.
Okay.
Like I don't want it in the sport. I just don't want it.
I am one of the biggest.
Everybody thinks that. Though.
I'm not saying the decision's wrong. I'm saying football doesn't need it.
But I'm one of the most anti-PJMOL VAR people, right? Of all of the things for people to get, like I've seen so many people that was it now for them. That was the moment that they're now anti.
Yeah, because it took away a really joyous moment where you'd watch this absolute car crash for the last 15 minutes. There's so much going on, and that was the kind of cherry on the cake. And they're we're going to take that away now. And
but objectively, they followed the rules. And you say,
I'm not saying it's not wrong.
We've never seen that before. When you've never seen something before, actually, the best thing you can do is follow the rules. Because if you don't, you end up in all sorts of trouble. Sunderland will be saying, well, Szoboszlai should have been sent off and it's rightful that he misses that game because he committed a red card offence. Arsenal fans will be saying, Haaland fouled Szoboszlai to score the goal. That's one goal difference.
It appeased Sunderland and Arsenal fans. Everyone else
preferred
the moment to just run.
Fair enough. Let's go down the road.
It's just taking away drama of football.
Yes, but let's go down the road of referees now have free will to ignore the rules and go with, that would have been good for football.
No, that's the issue. They do that anyway.
But they don't. Not deliberately.
I don't think they do.
No, not deliberately. I'm not saying they deliberately.
But that was such a factual application.
Yeah, I'm not. Look, like I said, I don't think it's wrong. It's not the wrong decision, but it does just for me typify what I don't like about VAR. I just think you're taking away joyous moments multiple times. There are goals that go in, and every time you're worrying about, you're like, oh, what will they check?
I hear that.
They start looking at moments, and then you're taking away when you're celebrating a goal, etc. That happens far too frequently, and they make so many mistakes anyway that it's like, I think it's just the fact that everyone is sick of VAR in general.
Yeah, which is completely fair.
And so for such a joyous, unique moment in a football game to happen like that, and then to be kind of ripped out, it's just dead.
You just can't go down. It's impractical to go down the route of allowing referees to not follow the rules if it's good for football, if it's good for the neutral. That's an impossible.
I hear your point.
I do agree. I just want it gone. I do want it gone.
No, I hear your point. And I've said for a while that I think VAR...
Is it a better product that happened?
Was it a better product when Declan Rice got sent off for nudging the ball half a yard? Did that make a better product?
Was that a VAR second yellow?
No.
Yeah. But the point was, if you allow referees to follow, that was letter of the law, rules.
But you were arguing for the rules being followed. I'm not. I'm saying no.
Yeah, what I'm saying is back then, everyone said no. Arsenal are wrong. Arsenal fans complaining are wrong.
That second yellow got given because they followed the rules to a T. Whereas you should apply a bit of game intelligence and going, it's just a bit silliness, crack on.
So would you say then?
I also think most people
for the penalty, Mateus Nunes is never getting on the end of his kick. It's gone straight out for a goal kick. Common sense would say that's not a penalty because Alisson hasn't stopped anything from happening.
That's a very well-known rule. The keeper has to get to the ball. They have to get to
This is the point, though. I think
but this is where you get into the realms of common sense because common sense would say Alisson hasn't. To go from Nunez kicking it out for a goal kick, which is the only way he can get to the ball, to that is now a 75% goal opportunity. That's not common.
You can't start applying people always say this. We've got to apply common sense decisions.
Most people don't.
What does that even mean?
Common sense is common.
Certain things it is somewhat easy to do. I think with a goal, I don't know, with an event like yesterday, you let that run.
But you don't, because I think that if you let that run and say, for whatever reason, next weekend the exact same thing happens in a different game, but it's like 1-1. At that point, you've got a completely different situation. But then it's like we talk about the inconsistencies all the time. You can't let that run if the game's 1-1 because at that point,
that game wouldn't be 1-0 because the keeper wouldn't be up for a. It's such a unique situation. That's what I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is, if
that unique moment away from football for me,
if it was 1-1, if say a team desperately needed to win the game and drawing or losing the game wouldn't have really affected them, and the other team needed to win the game, and they put the ball in the back of the net there, factually, by the letter of the law, that goal has to be ruled out. So then if there's any actual jeopardy in the result, which there wasn't yesterday, which is why people go, fuck it, just let it run. Who actually cares?
I've actually got the prime example for you of where it could happen. Champions League final game the other week. Yeah. Both teams needed to score for different reasons. Keeper goes up. Imagine keeper didn't win it. Real Madrid go up the other end. They score because Mbappe's pulled someone back. Yeah. Man City are dropped out of the top 8. Would Man City fans be going, you've got to let that goal stand? No, they'd be going, you have to rule out that
No, they
goal.
Wouldn't. And that's why Sunderland and Arsenal fans in this instance.
Exactly.
But I'm saying that's it. The majority is still losing out. The majority is still losing out on a brilliant football moment.
Lose out all the time. Losing? You're losing a moment as a neutral where you go, that was fun. And that was cool.
But it's the majority. But I'm saying this is tip of the iceberg stuff. It's not like
but you can't. The majority lost out when Romero got sent off against United because it made it a far less even game. Yeah. So what? You don't send him off because it ruined it for the majority.
I just don't think
you can't just play the game for neutral.
Yeah, I don't think you can apply. I think
you kind of have to with the state footballs, and you do have to play up to making it a better product.
But that's all route to go.
Football should be a more entertaining product.
So should the referee just flick on a little header, flick it in, equalise the game just to make it more interesting?
Team goes 3-0 down, so the referee just goes,
"Oh, you know what, lads? This is a shit game for the
year." Within reason,
yeah. But again,
but then when does that reason stop? You know what I mean? I hear your point.
It's crap, and that was not the breaking point. It seems to be, like you said, I don't quite know why that was the breaking point.
Why are people going so mad about it?
I just think people are sick of it. I'm saying, I think people. Yeah, I think
if you're a Premier League referee, you're going, "Oh my god, we constantly get stick for getting things wrong. We've literally got it factually right.
We've got it spot on, and we're still getting cooked for it." Yeah. But that's the thing. They're in a lose-lose situation.
It's a VAR, but people were sick of that.
No, I agree. I'm also sick of VAR, but I just don't think that's the. I don't think that's the one hill to die.
That for me shouldn't have been the straw.
Exactly what I was looking for.
That shouldn't have been the straw, but.
Yeah,
for some people,
straw that broke the camel's back.
I'll tell you what was actually a far worse, well, not far worse, but a far more debatable decision was not sending Mark Gahey off for pulling Mohamed Salah back. A lot of Liverpool fans are not happy with it. I think it's 50-50.
I still don't think it's a red.
Wide.
I think
he's running into the box.
Yeah, but he's 3 or 4 people covering it, isn't it?
Not really. He's going to get that before Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz I think if that situation plays out, I think Salah takes a touch, sets himself, and probably shoots there. And I think by that point, Ruben Diaz has come across and makes it.
Yeah.
He either closes the angle or makes it a more difficult chance, which I don't think has ever been a red.
No.
I don't think that's a clear goal.
But if that was central,
yeah. And I think a lot of people are. If that was a player that wasn't Mo Salah, who's been in that position so many times and loves that position, even though this season he's missed a couple of those kind of chances, despite the fact, did you see Slot coming out after the game saying, every time for the last 8 years he's been in that position, it's been a goal every single time.
Apart from this season, where
hey mate, I don't think that's true, but
probably toe poke it wide.
Yeah, if that's like if that's Frimpong, I don't think, for example, he's a decent finisher, but I don't think anybody complains that, or I think less people complain that should be a red card.
Maybe, but then if it's Szoboszlai, I think people would say he's going to get there on his right foot and bury it. So it's difficult.
Nah, but
should it be down to?
I think Diaz is there by the time they get to it.
Salah easily gets there before Diaz.
No, but by the time he even gets in a position to shoot.
But the argument would be if you look at how many there's only 2 defenders in the box to the left. If Ruben Diaz comes across to block the shot, Florian Wirtz is on the penalty spot completely over.
Red card is the worst punishment in football. It's an extremely harsh punishment. You get sent off, and you miss the next
I
game.
can't remember seeing a red with someone that wide.
No,
cover.
There's been other situations. There's definitely been other situations like that in maybe lower stakes games, lower profile games.
Example, we'll get to it later, but the penalty we got where Pedro gets pushed.
Yeah.
Technically, it's last man.
Yeah.
Pedro's not, do you know what I mean? It's not going there, but it's not even an argument for it because it's contextual.
I think people like that. I think Salah misses that chance more than he scores it. Yeah. Personally, I think the fact that Diaz is going to cover, he might not get there.
But that's always the difficult thing with that's always the difficult thing with Dogso anyway. I remember VAR sent
Dogso.
Literally what it's called.
I don't know why. I just hadn't heard that before.
VAR intervened to send William Saliba off last season away at Bournemouth, right?
But he was clean through.
But he was 40 yards away.
But he was clean through on goal. He's going to get an unchallenged shot on goal.
Yeah, but your argument is: would you back him to score it? Would I back Evanilson to score from running 40 yards out?
There weren't obstacles.
No, but you're running with
your defenders were miles away. Like
Saliba wasn't.
Yeah, but he fouled him.
But he's the one who fouled it. It's okay. He was the one who fouled him,
and he was on the floor as well.
Listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate for the Liverpool fans because I know a lot of them.
I think the defender that fouls the attacker is always taken out of the equation because they're the one that's committed.
Yeah, they
the
are
foul.
the last man.
So I think that kind of situation, in my experience, when I first saw that, I was like, given how my brain is wired from watching however many years of Premier League football, that's a yellow. Yeah. Because I always think through on goal, if there's any chance that a last man or another defender can cover, it's never given as a red. Because I still think that in a lot of instances, that is a harsh red card to give. Because, like the Evanilson one, for example, that by the letter of the law is a red. But I still think that in terms of like a context of a game, still quite a difficult chance for Evanilson to score. Well, not a difficult chance. I guess he's through 1-on-1. But I don't know. I still think a red card is like quite a harsh punishment.
I kind of think for me, it's like it comes down to, is it just them bearing down on goal with the keeper fairly fairly
centrally? That's a red.
And that's a red.
Yeah.
Like it that's just
and it should be a red. And then if there's any sort of angle, if they're going away from goal, if it's a poor touch of defenders covering, that's always a yellow.
Yeah, the difficulty is just with the wording. How do you define what's an obvious goal-scoring opportunity with what's just a goal-scoring opportunity? And
just thought
it's subjective.
Just thought of a great example. Senesi in the Bournemouth Crystal Palace game earlier on this season, Sarr is through on goal, clean through on goal. Senesi takes him down because he's slightly wide. And there is on the right, a defender quite far away. That was a better goal scoring opportunity than Salah's, in my opinion, and he didn't get sent off for that. Senesi.
Yeah, my opinion at the time, and that was completely unbiased because Bournemouth against Palace, was that it should have been a red card.
Same as me.
So it's difficult. It is difficult, and that's where you can sympathise with the referees. Yeah. And the other one that Liverpool fans are not happy about is Bernardo Silva pulling Mohamed Salah back. Now, at the time, we all said it was a very soft pull.
Yeah.
Inside the box, it would have been a penalty and a red card had it been given. Obviously, that's a big decision in the game right before half-time. If Liverpool go 1-0 up against 10 men, again, I think it's a very soft pull.
Yeah.
That said, Salah, there's no real reason for Salah to go down.
No.
Because he stops himself getting on the end of it.
Yeah.
We've seen them given before. We've seen City get
wrong. And in my opinion, I was going to say, in my opinion, wrongfully. Like when it was City United, wasn't it?
City United, Rodri. Yeah.
I remember when
we all said at the time that was
a joke.
Salah was looking for it.
Yeah,
I think Salah knew he was quite far away from it, felt the little pull, and went down quite easily.
What if they do give it? Like it's worth going down because you could get that situation.
I don't think if they gave that as a penalty, Bernardo Silva could have had two big complaints, because I do think that it is slightly silly from him. Like,
but it would be the biggest talking point because everyone else would go, come on.
Yeah.
If that was given, I'd have been like, that is soft. Yeah. That is soft as anything. So, in terms of the VAR, I think from my point of view, I think the ref got most of it right.
You can understand why Liverpool fans are probably looking at it going, well, there's maybe 3 50-50 decisions. Not 50-50, but contentious ones, and we came out on the wrong side of all three. But
Is that maybe anger confused with being level with Brentford, though?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
In the top four, right?
Is that
I think
anger?
it is. I think it is. And from a Liverpool perspective, that was to fall apart at the end of that game in the way that they did at Anfield.
Pretty unprecedented.
That's not even just a question of quality. That's then a question of like the mentality of the squad, the manager, the experience, and also 3 of their big experienced, highest paid players in Alisson, Van Dijk and Salah were probably the 3 worst players on the pitch.
And that has been the case throughout the season.
Salah was abysmal. Yeah, Gakpo to be fair, but Salah was abysmal. Van Dijk was all right, but I think he should do better for what ends up being a penalty. And Alisson gets it all wrong. Even before he gave the penalty away, he gave the ball straight back.
I saw someone say, and I thought it was a very good point actually, of why they were really annoyed as a Liverpool fan more than anything else, was the fact that City did have games midweek, and we spoke about that. They had Newcastle. They played on the Sunday. Liverpool had 8 days.
Yep.
And that first half was all City.
Yeah.
How?
Do you
know what I mean? Like, how can you'd like to think with 8 days we should be so up for this? And it's exactly
for me, it's playing with Salah.
The second half showed that they second half.
Harsh to put
not harsh.
On Salah.
Salah's a passenger, and he always. Salah has always been a passenger.
It was a good ball for Ekitike's header.
It was a good ball for Ekitike's header, but that's a moment in the game where he doesn't want to do the defensive work, which makes it hard for you.
Salah's always been a passenger in that regard, though.
But he has to be scoring and assisting constantly for the payoff to be worth it.
They did look a bit better with Frimpong.
No, for sure. But again, there wasn't much difference with Frimpong. Like, even when Salah was gone, they were still drawing at home to Sunderland.
But defensively,
but I think they played better against Arsenal than they did against City.
I think it's alarming for Liverpool in any iteration that they're in to not come out of the blocks at Anfield in a big game. High intensity, high energy. That's literally what their football club is built.
That's what I'm saying. Even at the depths,
even on the clock when they were poor, they would be frightening to play against at Anfield, and they would rarely lose at Anfield because you get that crowd up for it by pressing early, high energy, and the cop gets into it, Anfield gets into it, and you're flying.
And that first half, they sat back a lot.
Oh mate, they were so
City,
boring to watch at the minute.
Really in control of that first half.
But also they've got 4 or 5 injuries. They're not like absolutely played.
Isak Frimpong.
Bradley.
Is that it? And Leone, obviously, but
Leone.
That's basically it, right?
Maybe like Gomez or something.
Yeah.
Robertson
was on
the
bench.
Oh, was he?
But that's what I'm saying. So they haven't got. It's not like they're absolutely decimated by injury.
No.
And yet you looked at that bench yesterday, and you're like, who's going to come on for? You looked at the City bench, and it's like Foden, Cherky, whoever else. Yeah. Look at the Liverpool line. You're like,
What's fascinating to me
your actual squad is really not deep at all. And if the starting 11 aren't good enough to turn up and put on a dominant performance, and you haven't got anything to come off the bench, you're in trouble. And they are in real trouble in this race now.
They are like very moment reliant.
Yeah.
Obviously, like it felt like a carbon copy of the game against Arsenal until it went the way it did.
Yeah.
But you think like that's a league-winning side that added over 300 million just on attackers. Like we're forgetting the Kirkers and Frimpongs. How do they rely on just the odd moment?
Slot's a poor manager.
But the players have to be giving you more. We went into yesterday's game. I thought Ekitike was going to tear that back line. City are very susceptible. I didn't think he had the moment with Salah where he played the 1-2 with the header. He should score, and that's a good bit of movement. But other than that, there wasn't. I didn't think Wirtz integrated himself into the game enough. Ekitike didn't as good as he's been.
I think they are. I think the players are giving. I think when Liverpool score, it's normally down to you see the Ekitike goals the other week, the one where he sort of runs from near enough the halfway line and the toe poke and stuff. I think they are giving you moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ekitike is giving you moments. Okay, Salah's not this year, but he did massively last season, carry in that regard. Chiesa's given you some moments off the bench this season. Wirtz has had some moments in weeks gone by now. Gakpo's giving you nothing, to be fair. But even Gakpo scored some important goals in this season, despite being so poor. I think there has to come a point where you look at their actual chance creation, you look at the manager, you look at how they sustain pressure and control games, you look at the defensive structure too and how vulnerable they are there. Does that make them a little bit more wary in terms of flying forward, especially the fullbacks and midfielders? I just think it comes down to slot. I just think when you've got that much quality and you're underperforming to that level, especially with a lot of players who have shown that they are fantastic footballers in the past, I think that you've got to look at slot and say,
it's whatever's going on is not working quite clearly,
and nothing's changing.
It's what has changed was a big flip. Was when they started the season, obviously, then they won the first 5 or 6, but they were all like last minute winners.
Yeah, they weren't good. Like the performances were not good.
And it was about
games.
how this isn't sustainable what they're doing, and that they had multiple last minute winners. I saw yesterday. So there was their 4th injury time conceded loss, which is a joint record, and obviously there's still 13 games to go, so they can break that. So, which is a big flip from that's exactly what they were doing at the start of the season, is what they've become happening against them.
Yeah.
I think often when teams of like Alex Ferguson's United sides, etc., when they score, like a lot of good teams will score last minute winners, right? Where you grind an opponent down, you get unlucky, you might not score. It never felt like that with Liverpool. It felt like they were almost hanging on in games a lot of the time at the start of the season, and then getting the goal at the end through a moment, through Chiesa coming off the bench a lot of the time, through Engamoa, Ekitike, and even the
Burnley one with Salah's pen was like, how is that happening?
Exactly, and like they were poor in those games, so there wasn't a lot of the time when a team will score a lot of last minute winners. It'll be like
breaking down the barricades,
breaking down. They'll have however many chances they'll miss, and then eventually the quality will pay, and they will just almost force one in. Whereas with Liverpool, it never felt like that. It never felt like they had the control throughout the 90 minutes to actually sustain that. And as soon as the belief stops that you're going to go and score a 93rd minute winner or whatever it is, and the performances across the 90 become more important, then they're always going to suffer this season. And they just are. I mean, I know that they're still 10. It's still 10 points. Or 10 points is a decent gap, but like they're 10 points above us.
Yeah,
like
and 17 points behind us.
Yeah,
it's an incredible.
And now it's 5 off United, 4 off us.
Yeah, they're in danger.
Like,
I think how crap United were under Amorim at the start of the season. Like, I mean, for God.
Yeah.
They weren't
wrap up the title race part of it, obviously, Arsenal, good win against Sunderland, good performance against Sunderland.
Yeah.
Kind of exactly what we needed to do. We did our job and Liverpool unfortunately didn't do theirs.
Yeah.
Villa out of it now.
Oh, they're in a top 5 scrap.
They're sinking.
They are sliding. I mean, Digne, someone didn't wake him up.
Yeah, just disconnected.
What is bro doing? Honestly,
he set our league back years. All the leagues that we make fun of are now going to be going, look at that defending.
Yeah.
I think he was a statue.
Yeah,
it was like his control had disconnected.
I think he expected someone to be covering him inside.
I think he thought he was sending. Is his name Rayan, the guy?
Yeah.
So he thought he was sending him onto the inside, and someone else was there to then, and no one was there.
And his control.
And then he just went, right, that's actually okay.
And I mean, throughout the course of the game, Bournemouth battered them. Like
I saw the highlights.
Nielsen, oh my God, some of the chances that bloke misses. He had 2 where Martinez spilled them, and he should have tucked it away and missed
goal ruled out, obviously as well.
Yeah, goal ruled out. Alex Scott could have potentially got a penalty. I mean, I'm not going to argue too much about that. It's like one of those where.
Very different Villa post that 4-0. Well, I know that the Newcastle result was great, but even that Newcastle result right now, you're going, Newcastle.
But they're just massively feeling the effects of the injuries.
Tielemans, Kamara and McGinn missing.
Yeah,
like, just a huge part of that midfield and part of their success. And, Douglas Luiz coming in, he's kind of almost had 18 months off.
Basically,
And sort of Onana, I think he struggles a lot more without the creativeness of Tielemans or the security of Kamara next to him.
Yeah.
John McGinn is their captain, missing their captain. I think that Villa's squad depth is not. It's not bad. Like they've got some decent players, but they're just such a drop off from like those almost top quality level starting options. And Sancho, nice assist for Rodgers' goal. But again, they didn't do too much. I think they had like 0.4 XG in the game. Didn't create too much.
And I think it's difficult when they were on that run of win.
Yeah,
you just keep carrying that momentum and you have that confidence that you're just going to keep doing it. And
And it was in spite of XG.
Exactly.
Because I've seen the XG account on Twitter.
Yeah,
they're loving it.
They're loving basis.
They're winning right now. But yeah, now they're in a sticky spot because they've still got Europe. They've got a really thin squad. You look at their squad, you look at their lineup, and you compare it to a Chelsea lineup, a Liverpool lineup, the United lineup. That is the worst of the bunch, quite considerably at the moment.
I think
with
it always
the injuries
has
that they've got.
It always has been, but they've
been
built such a
overperforming.
good buffer with that run. That run was phenomenal where they won 10, was it 10 on the trot or so?
Yeah.
And then for it to be, they were 12 points clear of us about a week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Now it's 4.
Yeah.
Or 3 or 3 or 4.
And you still got to play each other at Villa Park, don't you? So like there's.
And you get the feeling with them, like they're going to keep dropping points.
I still think they'll finish above Liverpool, just how poor Liverpool are.
I think that's who the fifth battle is.
I think it's between Liverpool and Villa for fifth, and then I think that see if any other, Brentford, can they hold on?
Brentford won't. I think it'll be similar to
they're in there for the
Forest.
Conference League or so.
Europe, but in top 5 Champions League, I think they're very. I think they'll end up being very similar to Nottingham Forest last year.
You got life under Frank and life without Thomas Frank.
Yeah.
They're flying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's now purely Arsenal City title race,
and then four teams for the
race.
I think the Champions League race is good. You've got 4 teams going for 3 spots. All of them really need it in terms of the financial side of Champions League football. And, Liverpool have given themselves an absolute job to do because they're 4 points behind.
Away at Sunderland without Szoboszlai.
It's
the most kind of gritty player.
Xhaka back?
No, I don't think so.
If there's any player you actually argue who do Liverpool need on like a tough game like that, you probably would say Szoboszlai.
Yeah, I said last night that I think he's their most important player.
But I actually thought, as much Sunderland definitely better with Xhaka, but I actually thought Sadiki was great at the week. Like, I think they're okay without Xhaka.
Especially
and you talk about their home record and under the lights, and it is under the 8:15 kickoff.
It's a stadium of lights.
8:15 is. I hate it as a kickoff. It feels so much later than 8 o'clock kickoff. I think. No, it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but honestly, if you like,
it's really easy to explain. It's 15 minutes.
No, but it feels. I know people relate because I've tweeted it before and people agreed with me. That is weird. It feels so much later.
Yeah, finishing at 10 and not.
No, I agree. Because 7:45 does feel like a lot.
Oh, it's lucky.
7:45. 7:30 sometimes.
7:30.
It's got so much time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the game finishes like 9 o'clock.
Yeah. So obviously we'll get into the preview at the end of the podcast. We'll preview all the games, but I think Liverpool. If they lose that and a couple of wins for Chelsea,
I
think we should talk about Chelsea because we haven't. Don't think we've gone kind of too in depth on them in a while.
Flying under the radar.
Yeah.
It's because Liam's taken all the focus off of the football.
Yeah,
I quite like that.
I found it.
It's all about Rossini. It's all about look at his touch, look at this, and then everyone's kind of ignoring that. Like we're just putting together a nice little.
I found it so funny his interview with Palmer where he's just like Palmer just stood there watching him. Did you see that?
He had a similar one with João Pedro.
I've got an opinion on that, but I won't.
He had a similar one.
Go on.
I don't think it's good when. No, I'm not going to share it. No, you've rolled your eyes.
Go. Please. No, I'm sorry.
No, you're not going to.
I didn't mean any disrespect. No, please do.
No, you've lost it.
You don't think it's good for a manager and a player to have that kind of relationship?
Don't worry about it.
Is what you were going to say.
Don't worry about it.
I know that's what you're going to say.
Don't worry about it. Carry on.
29 years old, by the way.
No, it would be. I get what he's going to say because it would be like a concern of like respecting.
Are they two friendship?
Yeah, exactly. Because there has to be a bit of like they are still the players, he's the manager. So I get it to a degree. But I've quite enjoyed it. It's like the João Pedro.
That's what you're going to say.
Yeah, the other week.
Doesn't matter.
That's fine.
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, he's kind of just taken all the focus off of us, and the players are just kind of cracking on.
Yeah,
João Pedro was really good again. Obviously, winning those pens. I mean, don't get me wrong. We were given the win on a plate. Like Wolves.
Genuinely, two of the most brain dead penalties
I've ever seen in my life. It should have been 3. Because in the second half, Salah kind of karate kicks João Pedro again, would have been assaulted just randomly. Nothing's happening from it. He's just collecting across.
Oh, I saw that.
It should have been 3 penalties for the most non-earned penalties. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we've beaten a player and won it. They've just given it to us.
And to be fair, that was the thing. You weren't.
The push as well. I think the push is worse, if anything.
Yeah,
because all that's happened there. João Pedro's going out wide. He's going to turn around. He's going to play it back to Neto, and that would have been.
It's actually like you will. I watched that on the highlights, and I was like, "Why is this included in the?" And then he just shoves him in the back, 2 hands. Like, what are you doing?
I know. Honestly, I was watching it. I was thinking, that's why you're down there.
Sorry, all Rob Edwards there, and you're fighting for your life.
He came out after the game. He was like,
You can't legislate.
What do you want me to do?
You
What do you want me to
literally,
do?
like,
Yeah.
you give them 2 goals, a team of that quality. Because before that, it wasn't really like you were kind of
honestly,
all over
at
them.
0-0, nothing was happening. It was only once you scored the first penalty, then it was all one-way traffic. It was fine, but like we weren't doing anything prior to João Pedro's going out towards the corner flag and Doherty just taking his legs.
Matt Doherty is not a Premier League level footballer anymore. I'm sorry. The amount of times, I mean, even at Spurs, he was barely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, he's back 5 Wolves with like Neves and Moutinho.
And I feel like he was over. I remember buying him from Wolves and being like, I'm excited. Like, he scored a few goals. He's a flying wing back. I remember Wolves fans like celebrating us signing him, and I was like,
That's never a good sign.
Not a good sign.
Yeah.
Should we talk about Cole Palmer and his overrated performance?
Is he back?
Sorry, I'm so
It
sorry.
was his worst hat trick of the 4.
I love Cole Palmer, but 2 penalties, a goal where it's a nice finish and he gets on the end of a good move.
That was a good goal, yeah.
But like outside of that, I mean, people chat
outside of his hat trick, no, he didn't. He didn't do loads. He didn't do loads. But if the player's barometer for rating him wasn't as good as his other hat tricks, I think it's a nice place to be.
But I completely agree. And scoring a hat trick is never a bad thing. And that's not what I'm saying. But like the amount of people I'm seeing saying Cole Palmer is back.
No,
and then you see after the game,
he spoke. Yeah,
in his interview, he was like, "I'm not back." Basically, he was like, "I'm still feeling injury issues. I'm still not feeling my best at all." And it's like, I just do feel like it's a case of a 3 p.m. game. People didn't actually really watch it, and then they go,
it was good for his confidence.
God, hat-trick.
It was the third goal more so than anything else. After that, it was a nice turn that he did. I think Neto could have played him through for a 4th, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it was one of those ones where it was a stat man performance. A Cole Palmer excellent performance. It's like when he scored 4 against Brighton, but he should have had 5 or 6. I remember there was a pass put in for Jack. Yeah. That's when he's on his game.
The one against Everton.
Wasn't that.
Oof.
Yeah, the Everton one was fantastic.
Yeah.
But this wasn't that.
Yeah.
But he's walked away with a hat trick.
Yeah,
that's all he can do. I can't be over.
It's nice to get it off your back, to be fair. And for the next few weeks, anyone that's trying to like reel off stats to do him down in terms of goals, you just can't. You go
like Gyökeres. Like he's still shit. Well, but he's got the stats now.
Oh, this is the thing, isn't it? Gyökeres scores 2 lovely open play goals and still gets a hammering. No.
Lovely.
Imagine Gyökeres had scored two penalties and a tap, and people would have been, it's the worst hat trick in Premier League history.
It'd be like, do you remember that Onuachu one he scored for Club Brugge, where people were like, the compilations.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
But it was just
he's probably better.
It can't hurt his confidence. But it was. I thought Enzo and João Pedro are probably our best performers. And
João Pedro's
Enzo and João Pedro have been playing really.
It's a shame that you don't get assists for winning a penalty.
You don't have FPL, don't you?
aren't they?
Yeah, but not actual statistics.
No, actually.
Because, I mean, he doesn't deserve assists for winning those penalties.
No, like I said,
players
he
deserve
should have earned 3.
Yeah.
But for none of them was it him doing something good. But he did. He played well.
But it's kind of good vibes at Chelsea at the minute, I feel like.
Yeah, like I said,
he's
taken the heat.
Couldn't beat us.
All the heat's on him. Like, it hasn't been anything to do with. No one's really noticing anything. And also, it's been chocker in terms of, obviously, Arsenal have the same schedule where it's Carabao, Champions League, FA Cup, Premier League. Yeah. It's been games every 3 days. You're not going to see what Rossini's working on the training ground implemented anyway. It's just been get these fixtures out of the way, and then this week after Leeds and Hull, you've got a really good sign. And you can breathe.
I would say I think it's a really good sign for you and for us, to be fair. But in terms of the top 4 races, that you had that really intense midweek game. And got the win after it. I think because if you're looking now towards that race, United are only playing once a week, so they've got that advantage.
Oh yeah, they have no football.
But I think if you're looking at comparing you with Villa and with Liverpool, and you've all got midweek Champions League and Europa League games, I think Chelsea look probably the best equipped to deal with it.
Most confident, I'd say, of those teams at the moment.
But then again, sometimes you rotate, and like West Ham, you went 2-0 down first half, so maybe it's not completely.
Yeah, that's why I say we've got our next 2 games are Leeds at home and Burnley at home.
That's nice.
That's what I'm saying. If you do your job, which you should be in both those games, suddenly you've won 6 on the trot, and confidence is higher. Then that's good. So
would you prioritise the Prem? Just the last point on Chelsea, like going forward into the rest of the season, would you prioritise Prem as your mate? Because you've obviously got Palmer, who probably can't play twice a week right now. Reece James as well, still got a couple of things going on. Moise Caicedo obviously fine. But like in terms of those 2 especially, would you want them to play in the Prem? Like, say you had a round of 16 tie in the Champions League.
No, Champions League you go all in.
Yeah.
Champions League you always go all in, and then you manage the Premier League as much as you can. The one, sadly, the FA Cup's the one where you go, okay, let's rotate. Yeah. Let's just see what happens. We should
if you win, great.
Win that.
Yeah.
But you go all in the Champions League. Yeah. That doesn't. Well, it doesn't matter what club you are.
You said you were going to win the Champions League.
Exactly. So. You got to go for it.
And you still believe that?
Yeah.
with a straight face. Say it without a smile. I'll believe that you believe it, and you're not.
We're going to win number 3.
Say it without a smile.
We're going to win number 3. It's an exciting prospect. How am I not going to smile about it?
I don't believe it. You don't believe yourself.
I do.
I know it.
Every year we've won it. We've sacked someone.
You don't.
Yeah, we have.
So yeah, the other team, final team in the Champions League race, United, cantering, absolutely flying.
Title race.
Title race.
Title race over,
No.
Only 12 points in it.
Yeah, only. No, look, I think what they've done actually is impressive under Carrick. I think the way that they've kind of recovered the season and put themselves pretty much in prime position. I think if you ask most people now, Chelsea, United, Liverpool, Villa,
I'd say that if you said
very few people are going to say they're not.
To get Champions League football behind Arsenal and City.
Yeah.
They got lucky on Saturday.
Well, they didn't, did
no,
they?
They didn't,
they did.
There was nothing lucky about the fact that you wrote Romero in and he'll get sent off.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if anyone really wrote them in. He just kind of did. No,
Casemiro basically just needed to be Brazilian, and that seemed to be enough. So, but no, before we talk about Spurs, we will talk about them after.
Yeah.
United's performance, once again, Bruno looking excellent, the attack looking strong.
Lovely.
You disagree? You don't think Bruno looked excellent?
Lovely Rabona.
Yeah, he's playing with confidence, sure, but
that's all right. Honestly,
they did what they needed to do. But
call out Bruno's performance.
No, I'm not going to call out anybody's performance.
It was a nice work as well.
10 men. You're playing a crap team who've got 10 men. Like, I don't think
got to get the job
done. That impressive.
Actually, sometimes I actually find it can be harder to play against 10 men because they just sit in and can be difficult.
And
to
that's
break
what
down.
United have really struggled. Obviously, before the sacking happened, like Wolves, they dropped points at home. Did they lose to West Ham at home?
I can't remember.
That.
Yeah.
I feel like either way, United have dropped some ridiculous points this season, particularly when they're only having a 40-game season, which is mental. Like this is the season to capitalise. You have no Europe, they were out the Carling Cup early, they're out the FA Cup early. Like, just
Carling
go for the
Cup
league.
Is crazy.
Yeah, it's always a Carling Cup to me, but they are now finally capitalising on that on a weekly basis. All you can do is string together results, and Carrick's doing that, regardless whether it's a top side, regardless whether it's a 10-man crap side. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I'm not trying to even come across as a salty Spurs fan. I do think United were, all you can do is beat what's in front of you, and they did that, and fair play. But I also think they were like, I don't know. There were moments in the game where, like the Xavi Simons snapshot, for example, that goes just past the post. If that goes in, all of a sudden it's 1-0.
If that 30-yard goes in.
Yeah,
they weren't. Yeah, but they weren't like.
Then they would have lost 2-1.
I know. But United had 3 or 4 similar long shots. So if you're saying if Xavi Simons' snapshot goes in, it's one thing.
That was close.
If Cunha's snapshot goes in,
it was a good shot.
But I don't think United were like.
It was their
creating loads of chances.
Performance, but it didn't need to be.
Yeah.
They didn't really need to get out of second.
I can't believe our defending for their corner. Oh my god!
It was a nice little work trying.
Yeah, it was
like to concede like that when you've got 10 men. But yeah, United are they're flying at the moment. The confidence is incredibly high. I like the fact
there was a lovely bit of play actually. Close to the touchline in the first half between Mayu and Fernandes. Just a bit of confidence in the squad.
Their one-touch football under Carrick has been really good actually. It's almost not unique to them, but the way that they play the intricate football in the middle of the park.
It's quite reflective of him.
It's pretty impressive, and obviously one game left for Mr. United Strand to go and get his haircut.
So inform West Ham.
I've seen a lot of anger towards him.
It's.
Goldbridge had a little rant about him the other day, didn't he?
But he's a guy that in the last year has gone from 0 to 1 million followers on most platforms. You're going to rub people up the wrong way just for existing if you do that. So,